What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Game On Improve Your Health podcast. Today's podcast episode journey is being guided by none other than your host, Austin J, or hallucinodream, if you know him from the gaming community, and his lovely wife, Christina, or the warden, if you know her from the gaming community, who hasn't been here in a couple weeks. And today's episode journey, or topic, is, it is on how to listen to your body and tips on how to do so. Thank you for listening and enjoy the episode. I haven't had to do that introduction in a while.
Wow,
so
that was a great intro.
I haven't had to do it in a while, so we're in a different location, as you can hear and see again. So everybody, sorry for the quality. I can already hear it. I can already hear it echoing. I can already hear it echoing like a lot. So but yeah, tonight, whatever it is, sun might be out, but it's still tonight. We want to talk about how to listen to your body. We've touched on that several different times in episodes, but we never really explained what that means or tips on how you can actually do that. So, being as I have personally been feeling completely out of it the past several weeks, I figured there'd be no better topic than to do this one now. So, and I know Christina over here phases through different. I think she might be, because of how much we've been traveling, she might be able to explain a little bit about that as well. So,
I might be.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to let her take it away.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
I knew.
and I'm going to say this because if you might not notice right this second, but she is grumpy. She is the grumpiest Grumperton right now for some weird reason. Anyways, what could you tell people about, just listening to your body and possible tips that maybe you've experienced that you could tell people on how to do so?
Listening to my body right now would tell me that I was hungry, which might be adding into my grumpiness.
Interesting.
Just hit me like a wrecking ball. I'm pretty hungry.
Wow.
Yeah. Anywho, so what does listening to your body mean? Well, I think it means just knowing your body, and I know that doesn't really sound like a very good answer. Yeah. I know. Right. Well, so it's going to be like knowing your body and then knowing when things change. And so that could mean that you have to start writing it down in order to start like seeing correlations between things. But like listening to your body would be like, wow, every time I eat pizza, like immediately after, I feel really sluggish and irritable, tired. So after a while, you might start to see a pattern. And then instead of eating pizza every Friday night, you replace it with something else. And then now all of a sudden you start to feel different. You feel more energized. You feel like you're in a better mood. So really, I think that's what listening to your body means. Same thing that goes with like workouts. So if you do a workout and the next day you're incredibly sore, like being a little sore is good after a workout, but being so sore that like you can't move, that's not good. So listening to the fact that like, okay, well, wow, it really seems like I pushed too hard. So maybe you lower the weight, or maybe you don't do as many reps, or maybe you do an alteration of that workout. So it really just comes down to what does your body feel like after you do X. So if I eat or do this and I feel like this, well, if it's a good feeling, then you want to keep, hopefully doing that. If it's a bad feeling, like you're sluggish, you're this, you're that, or you're really sore, then you might not want to continue to do those things. And it's really going to be trial and error. And you also might not even know that your body, you might not even know that you're sluggish or groggy or sore or irritable until you change something. So like for me, eating great, like what I eat, the frequency in which I eat, really affects my mood. It affects how I feel. And I mean, just personally right now, like I am in because I've just been really busy. I've been traveling. I've been going to conferences. And when that happens, I tend not to eat in the morning. And so I fast for a really long time. And then I eat. And then when I do eat around like 11 or 12 o'clock, depending on what I eat, I feel absolutely terrible. Like today, I felt really nauseous because I didn't eat until like noon. And so now I have to make the effort to say, okay, well, I haven't been feeling good, so what can I do to change that? And I only know that because I've felt really good in the past, right? I've had really good routines that I've felt good. So I know personally when there's something off. Maybe I can't, like I've been having such a hard time like remembering things. Like I'll be halfway through a sentence and I'll stop because I like will literally forget the word that I'm trying to say. And so like I know it's just because my routines have been totally off.
Yeah, I agree with all those points. I'm going to touch on those in my own personal.
Basically, he's going to say the same thing that I just said.
Yeah, well, actually, the ending you said there, where your cognition is off, that's a telltale sign that your nutrition might be off. Your sleep patterns are definitely probably off as well, and then maybe your physical activity might be suffering. Mm-hmm. Again, just like Christina said, yeah, that's something you're gonna have to. It's gonna be trial and error. And again, until I started a fitness routine, I literally had no idea I was at such a lack of energy. Mm-hmm. And then once I started doing that, it's like people who say that it's not actually cliche. Mm-hmm. It actually is the truth.
Yeah, and like. Sorry not to cut you off. I know. Like, when I started drinking shakes in the morning, so, like, there was a point when we were, like, where I was working out a lot. We were training for Spartan races. We did them consistently. Like, I was going to the gym 5-6 days a week. And I knew that my protein intake wasn't there. I went to a nutritionist. Anyway, so I started drinking. So I subbed out like a breakfast sandwich or either no breakfast or something really heavy in the morning. I subbed that out for a protein like shake. And so like I would put like almond milk, protein, veggies, fruits. And when I used that to break my fast in the morning, like I didn't realize how bad I felt in the morning until I started feeling like that good. Like I would drink it and I would barely need coffee. Like I would maybe drink 1 cup like midday. I wouldn't even drink coffee in the morning because I would drink my shake. And it was crazy, which speaking of, I should, like, because I'm in such a funk right now, I really should start switching and drinking those again in the morning. But I like immediately noticed a difference. So.
Yeah. I'm in a funk too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, as of right now, we're both like in the same boat because I've been traveling with her.
Mm-hmm. Or then when I'm traveling and you're home, then I mean he's stuck with a toddler by himself. So.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. And that's not necessarily the problem. It's being home, whatever. But. Just recently, the lack of motivation has been. So an example for myself is, and Christina touched on physical activity, but my physical activity has been very, very low since about a month ago, one of my last races, which took such a heavy toll on me. And I couldn't tell you exactly why because, long story short, the last time I did the race, but besides this year, it was just as cold, or colder actually, and I feel like the cold really took a massive toll on me.
Well, I don't think that that's why you...
I think that has quite a bit to do. I literally was unable to recover during the race for very long time. It was like an hour and a half. I was literally shivering to the point where I almost passed out. I think it was the cold.
I thought it was because of how long the race was the day before. I think that really messed you up. I think
that definitely contributed to it, but I think that I didn't recover on the course as fast as I should have, being so cold. Anyways, that's not the point. It doesn't matter. what the race took a toll on me, okay? And I literally haven't, up until yesterday, it's been like 3 or 4 weeks later, I haven't really done any physical activity because my motivation has been low. And it literally just, my recovery was bad and my nutrition and sleep has been off. And today, I actually woke up feeling pretty sore. So I was going to initially, my thought process yesterday was, I'm going to run today and I'm going to get back into my routine. Since yesterday I did a HIIT workout. And I woke up sore, a little too sore for my liking. So I listened to my body, and I was like, I'm not even gonna go for a run. I'm just gonna do a couple different walks throughout the day because I can do that with my daughter as well. It's much easier. So I decided I'm gonna go that route. That's one example of listening to your body. Now, Christina said stuff about being sore and changing up your routines. That goes and that holds true, but also you gotta listen to, let's say your workout is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and on Monday you go so hard that you're sore Tuesday, and then you wake up Wednesday and you're still sore. Maybe alter that day and just do Thursday and Friday again, and then go light both those days, like Christina said. Instead of trying to really, you don't want to, listening to your body is more or less trying to, or making sure your body recovers the way it needs to, so that you don't regress, because you can work your body too hard. Yeah.
And I would say, like, and I wish I would have done this so many times in the past, but like, there have been times when I've been so sore for days and then I haven't worked out, but it's crazy. Like, so I remember the first time that it really like hit me was I had ran a half marathon, and the very first time that I ran a half marathon, I literally, I'm not even kidding, I think I laid in bed the entire next day. Like, I ran this half marathon and I was like, phew, I am good for the next 6 months on activity. And so I instantly got in bed and laid in bed the rest of the night and damn near most of the day the next day, and I was so sore. And then I ran my next half marathon, which if you would have thought that you would do it again after you felt that bad, that's what running does to people. That it, you kind of become a little nuts and you actually enjoy it. And so I decided to run another one, and I was totally different because my activity level after was totally different. I walked around. I made the effort to do an active recovery. And I felt so much better. And then a couple days after that, I could run again. And it just was I feel like it was in that moment of holy crap, this is what it feels like when you have prepared your body and then you have recovered properly. And it has so much to do with what you eat, how you eat, and then what your active recovery looks like. So now if I get really sore, instead of skipping a workout, maybe you could just change it and do yoga instead. So you're still doing an active recovery because it's going to loosen things up and it feels a lot better faster in most cases.
Yeah, you definitely want to make sure that you're doing, and that's something you'll learn as well. So you want to do that active recovery, especially when you do a big event like a half marathon, because that will speed up recovery, and that's a big factor. And you'll start to learn with jumping over to nutrition. You'll start to learn with nutrition too. I didn't realize how bad my gut actually was. I'm not going to get into details. I didn't realize how bad my gut actually was until I started changing my eating habits. And another telltale sign is your irritability level. I mean, you don't really realize how irritable you are until you really become less irritable. And that'll go hand in hand with activity level, increasing it, especially if you're very sedentary during the day. If you start doing I don't know what's wrong with my brain. Start doing physical activity.
Well, we just said we were in a funk.
Yeah, so. Seriously. Start doing physical activity and, changing your eating habits, making your eating habits a little better, eating some healthier stuff. And getting good sleep, people underestimate the importance of sleep. If you don't have good sleep, a lot of that is very hard to do. I mean, getting your nutrition, we'll get into that in a second, but doing all that will help your irritability level. That's a good telltale sign. And then your gut health, again, not going to go into details, but you'll realize the difference when you start eating healthy. Your gut won't be as inflamed, which drives irritability as well as other things. But yeah, I really am just keep losing my train of thought for some reason.
Yeah. Well, like, even, like, I'm just thinking, like, my eating habits have just been so unbelievably out of whack that, and I think it's important to point out, so I've definitely lost weight, like, in these last couple weeks because I have not been eating enough. And I think when people start their fitness journey, like, initially that sounds like great, right? Like, oh my gosh, I've lost weight, and like, that's great. But I know I'm not working out to the level that I used to be at. And so, like, I do want to start getting back to that because I obviously feel better when I do. But, like, I'm already thinking, like, I have to change my eating habits back because, like, I will destroy my body if I am eating what I'm, like, at the calorie amount that I'm eating and the nutrition amount that I'm eating now. And if I start physical activity, I will wreck my body. Like, if I go back to working out at the level that I did, because I am not fueling my body enough. And so, like, you want to be careful that, like, yeah, if weight loss or if vanity or whatever you want to call it, like, is your goal, like, you want to do it the right way. And, like, I don't feel good even though I'm losing weight. Like, I'm not losing it in the right way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I've only eaten once today. Yeah, like, I've only eaten taking once, it from, and it's not good. You know?
It'll start taking it from muscle eventually if that's how you're going about it. And you don't want that, right? So your weight could drastically decrease because your muscle weight is heavier than fat, and your body is now in, severe fight or flight mode because your activity is so low and you're eating so little. So your body's like, wow, we really need to store this as fat because obviously there's something serious going on. Your body doesn't know.
Yeah.
But that's what it's going to think, so that's what it's going to do. And then it's going to start decreasing your muscle because it's like, well, we can't be spending all this energy to maintain this muscle if we're in this kind of, risk, this kind of fight or flight mode. So, and that's something that people don't, that's something that people aren't told very often and need to be aware of that. So you need to not only listen to your body, I mean, you need to get all of everything that we talk about in all of our podcasts, including listening to your body, which is why we're going over this one, which we didn't explain. I realized that recently. It's all very important, and there is a lot of information, and that's why in our podcast we break it down in as easy terms as possible. Like this podcast right now, and for the duration of the podcast, as we host it forever and in eternity, is going to be broken down for the beginner in beginner terms, so people can understand. Because I've listened to some health and wellness podcasts, and I've read some blogs and watched YouTube videos, and people talk to they talk to you like you are already some kind of professional, yeah. And it's like, even for me, sometimes I'm like, I don't know why you're explaining it like that. That's incredibly confusing if you were just the average person, especially getting into a fitness or health and wellness routine. So that's what we want to do for people, and that's why we break things down very easy. But it's all very important. Every aspect of it is incredibly important. I mean, starting with sleep, and then nutrition, and then your physical activity.
Yeah. And
then listening to your body, of course. You do not want to overdo your body, and then you do not want to, like, we're getting a funk right now. Christina just said she only ate once today, which isn't good.
Which is
but it's
so not my normal.
Yeah, but we've been traveling a lot, and we're all out of sync, and we're gonna get back to our normal routine, right? And so we're vigilant on that. We're noticing that's what's going on, and that's why. And I personally can feel a difference in my mood and my irritability level. I mean, things are irritating me very fast. I know it's because my sleep is completely out of whack. I mean, generally I don't stay up or I don't get into bed and then not fall asleep very fast. And lately, what happened is I sit in bed and I just sit there in bed. That hasn't happened to me in a long time. And the past couple of weeks, that's literally what's been happening. And that's throwing my sleep off a lot. Mm-hmm. And, it's contributing contributing factors are definitely my weird nutrition habits, which I haven't been eating very often during the day. And when I do, it's most of the time, it's just like as quick because my motivation is low. I don't feel like making anything. Yeah, I'm admitting that. I just grab like protein bars and stuff, which is, it's good sometimes, but it's not like a real protein replacement. People need to keep that in mind as well. And then, of course, my physical activity has been so low. Doing physical activity yesterday, I felt amazing, right? So that's why I was like, I'm definitely getting back in my routine yesterday. I used that to my advantage to be able to do it. Now, I didn't even want to do it, but then I went there and did it, and I did HIIT for an hour, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to survive. I haven't done anything in 3.5 weeks. I'm going to throw up for sure. But I didn't, and I didn't really lose any progress apparently because I was fine the whole time. But I was a little sore today, so. And then tomorrow I will continue and do my running and just got to get the nutrition back and the sleep back. Yeah. But it's about listening to your body. So, like, we wouldn't really, if we weren't listening to our body or our minds or, how we're feeling and stuff, we weren't doing that. We really wouldn't even be putting these puzzle pieces together and thinking forward that we need to fix these things. Yeah. And we would just, be like, oh, well, I just need to, or maybe we would just be like, oh, we just need to eat a little bit more or whatever. And then that would be the extent of it, but we wouldn't be thinking really about like what's fully causing it. And it's not rocket science, I don't think. I mean, it's really there's only a couple factors that really affect it heavily, right? Obviously, there's underlying issues that people have, and we're not talking about that. We're talking about just sleep, like activity, and nutrition. Those are 3 foundations to healthy body and mind. Yep. Yeah, definitely. All right, well, I think we're going to wrap the episode up unless you have anything else to say.
No, I think that was good.
Well, thanks, everybody, for listening. If you have any questions on anything you heard, we'll be back next week with a follow-up and question and answer. I did prepare and look up the date. Of course, that wasn't my mouse clicking. It'll be October 13th, 2021. That's when we're going to do our follow-up and question and answer. So, perfect. Thanks for listening. And... yeah. Oh, I forgot to say, all the links are over here on the left for those who are watching live on YouTube or Twitch. And if you are listening on the podcast platform, it will all be in the description. Follow us, send us messages there. And yeah, see you in next week's episode.
Bye.